Hello and good morning. Welcome to the O'Rourke Report. Thank you so much for joining in here in beautiful New England. We're sitting back waiting for a snowstorm to roll in sometime today. So, what better time is there than to discuss this week's shenanigans on Bravo? Let's see, we left off with, is this Beverly Hills? Yeah, we left off with Married to Medicine last week, so that's done. Let's do Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Before we do that, I have a little note here. We are to note that Captain Jason is back from Below Deck, and wowsy wow. Once again, Below Deck looks fantastic. They've got a sprinkling of some crew members that we do know, but they have the majority of whether it is the deck crew or interior, the majority of them are new, including the chief stew. So it's going to be interesting. I think the thing that makes Below Deck works is the captains do not participate in the antics. The captains are the steady. The captains are you know exactly what to expect from them, and they don't deviate from them. They're professionals. They have a job to do. This is just something on the side. This is not somebody in their 20s thinking that they're going to all become Kate Chastain and, parlay this into some sort of career. Captain Jason's back. He looks fantastic. New crew. The boat is really big. I mean, the living quarters, everything, to the point that the chef, who is a chef we've seen before with Jason, not a huge fan of her, Zarina, I think her name is. She was the one that had the messy thing going on back and forth with Joao. So anyway, this boat is so big. They have room to give her a sous chef. I mean, that's how big this boat is. So looking forward to it. It's back, thank God. Okay, Beverly Hills. We really start delving into, in a big way, the realization is coming on to Dorit slowly but surely that she needs to, I'll talk about this later, I'll go into more detail, but she's starting to understand this is the real deal. She better start protecting herself. She's got to get a lawyer, because right now she doesn't have a lawyer, and she's treating this like she's going to be able to talk this marriage back into shape. Not going to. Well, we'll go right into it. Kathy Hilton has a dinner party. The ladies are split in this section. Some of them go to Augusta with Sutton. I think it's Kyle, Garcelle, and Kyle, Garcelle, Sutton. Is there anybody else that goes on that trip? They go to Augusta to presumably to meet Sutton's mother. And it is not a warm and fuzzy relationship with her mother. Her mother's very much she's a cold and rude fish. She's not supportive of her daughter. She thinks her daughter, I mean, the body language I was reading, is she thinks her daughter is ridiculous and over the top and affected, which, yeah, Sutton is all those things. She is not rooted in reality. But then again, Sutton tells this very true, I don't know, I don't know whether she thought she was going to reveal this authentically. Oh, also on the trip is her poor downtrodden assistant Ari, who organizes everything, and he's yeah, I sympathize with him every time I see him because she's so affected. So anyway, Sutton is revealing something about her mother when Sutton was going through from her husband, who was apparently a very successful, I don't know, is a hedge fund manager? I'm not sure what he is, but there's millions. And the mother's only concern, at least according to Sutton, little Miss Chloe, you want me to open that for you, my little buttercup? Okay, hold on. Down here, little baby sweets. Let's open her up. Little treasure chest. What was I talking about? Sutton's mother. The mother's only reaction at the time, because apparently they have this lovely home. I think she said it was 4,500 square feet, which according to Sutton was very small. It was a pied a terre, for God's sakes. It's only 4,500 feet. They have an in-law unit somewhere on the property where her mother lives. And her mother's reaction, according to Sutton at the time, was, well, what's going to happen to me? Thinking that she was going to be kicked out of the house. Well, it turns out, Sutton got the house and the divorce, along with, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis, and continues to live very much high on the hog. And so anyway, bad relationship between him and her and the mother. And also, I thought the mother might be, boy, you would think, now tell me, if your daughter was on one of these shows, wouldn't you watch it every week? I would just invest everything in it. I mean, this is my kid and my daughter. She's on this show. I would know everybody about it, and everybody who was good to my daughter and everybody who wasn't. Which means she should know that Garcelle was one of the very, very, very few people who ever had Sutton's back. And yet the mother is very dismissive to Garcelle. And I think maybe we are seeing maybe a little Southern racism. Garcelle is black. I don't know. But boy, did the mother kiss up to Kyle, who's never been a super fan of Sutton's. And she was out and out, downright rude to Garcelle. Why? I don't know. But I just thought the whole dynamic was very interesting. Was Sutton showing us this or trying to produce this storyline to garner sympathy from the audience, knowing full well how her mother would have come across on camera? I don't know, but boy, there's some heartache on both sides. And of course, I kind of always go with the child side on this. I'm more protective of Sutton than I am of the mother, because I think the parent has a responsibility to figure things out and do the right thing by their kid. That's just me. I know there's two sides to every story, but interesting. Very interesting. I thought the mother's rudeness to Garcelle was notable. Okay, Rita, not buying, broken, blah, blah, blah. Boz jumps right. Okay, so the other half of the show was this dinner party that Kathy Hilton was throwing, and the theme was Tuscany, the lemons everywhere. The Bubo Bupeppo room that Dorit did years ago. Well, Kathy did her own style, and let me tell you, soup to nuts. She has the right staff. She has a sommelier. She's got a butler. She's got this. Her china and place setting and table decor was just stunningly gorgeous. Just the right touch of elegance, maybe a little bit over the top, but still it was lovely. And at this we have Boz, Dorit, and Erica Jayne. And basically the conversation comes down to Dorit is telling the ladies the latest on the divorce. She had just received a 7-paged email from PK, who tells her in the email how things are going to go, that she is going to pay the mortgage on the house going forward. She's going to do XYZ. He lines out all these things that she's going to do. And the ladies are horrified. And the oracle, the voice of reason, and I never in a million years would have thought that I would say something nice about Erica Jayne, but boy, she was right on the money, and she was hitting the right notes with Dorit. I think she was finally getting through Dorit. backing Erica's comments up are Boz and to a lesser extent, but certainly with doing all the right motions was Kathy Hilton. I mean, the bottom line is, Dorit, you need a lawyer. And at one point, Dorit goes, you know what I just discovered? We've been married 9.5 years, and apparently in California, once you've been married 10 years, then the property is 50-50. And Eric and the other ones are like, duh, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? This is all happening. He needs to get this divorce done before the 10-year mark. And if that doesn't hit home to Dorit, I don't. At one time, she, in a very small voice, says, "Well, what if it does work out?" And it's not working out. He doesn't want to be with you anymore. Understand that and move on. So I'm pointing this conversation out because it was one of the very few authentic discussions I think I've ever seen these women have. Nobody was trying to take a shot. Nobody was being passive aggressive. This conversation was pure concern about their friend Dorit getting hosed in a divorce, and she's allowing it to happen because she tends to live in the clouds. She's too busy curating her look. We understand that, right? Little, you were getting to be little Chloe. That's you little nutty. So I really enjoyed it from that angle, and I hope to read. Well, it's this was filmed a year ago. So hopefully she's taken all the right cues, and she's gotten herself a good lawyer, and she's protecting herself and her children. And she makes a good salary as a housewife, and the endorsement deals or anything else she gets. So she's not completely at PK's mercy, but she has absolutely 100% right to make sure PK does the right thing. And she's going to need a lawyer to make sure that happens. So I hope it does. So basically, that's all that happened on Beverly Hills in my mind. Is I thought Sutton and her mother were interesting. I would like to know a little bit more, I think. Because Sutton didn't jump out of whole cloth. But, and then of course, I thought the conversation between the ladies was real and authentic. In other words, there was nothing produced. Well, yeah, I think Sutton was trying to produce the Augusta get-together. And this is a word that's popping up more and more, produced. The other cast members don't like when they catch the other person producing something. And what that means is the other person has come up with a storyline for herself that will involve XYZ. She tries to produce the conversations around that, and nobody likes that. It's inauthentic. It's somebody acting for the camera. They know that that's their job. Their job's on the line if they're not producing for the camera. But leave producing to the producers. Just be yourself. So anyway, now let's go on to RHONY. This was the second episode of their 2-episode reunion. We again had some more discussions on, well, let me just start by this first thing I have here. I like on reunions when they cut for a break. You see all the ladies get up, they readjust their mics, the crew come on and do whatever they have to do. They go in the back, they have lunch, and the camera's following the whole time and following their discussions. And I like that. I like that. It's immediate reaction to what you've just seen on camera. You see them reacting to it, and I enjoy that. Say something nice about Jenna. Oh, talking to Brent. I will say this about Jenna. I'm not a huge fan of Jenna, but because I think there's a lot of awkwardness about her, and she's very up in front about her awkwardness. But she is the only one who is while she's critical of things that Bryn has done, which is producing, the way she produces is she'll take a fact and she'll embellish and spin it in such a way as to make another person look bad. That's her idea of producing, because it then, of course, spirals into a whole show. So Bryn continues to be under fire by all the other ladies for her producing, and Jenna attempts to let Bryn know that while her behavior is really bad and she's got to change it and it's unacceptable, that she's not really coming down on Bryn. She's very kind to Bryn, and I like that. I thought that showed some maturity on Jenna's part. So I do want to say, because I do criticize her, I'd like to say something nice about her when I see it, and I saw it there. The other thing I thought was interesting is Aaron and Rebecca Minkoff go after each other. They're little, remember, they're the ones who band together with the squirrel outing, trying to see who the rat in the conversation was. Well, apparently we get into this whole big conversation that between Aaron and Becky about Becky, did she take oh yeah. Off camera, Rebecca went after Aaron for having the conversation on camera with how does Rebecca navigate being Jewish and a Scientology, since both of them are religions. I mean, Judaism is, it's one of the world's major religions. Christianity, Muslim, Hindu, Confucius, Buddhist, Judaism is in there with the top tier, the major ones. And so anyway, Rebecca blasted her off screen, and Aaron, called her out on it. And Rebecca, the nerves of steel, she just stood there and gave it back and forth with Aaron. Andy diplomatically calls Rebecca out for wanting to frame the conversation. So we find out one of Rebecca's motives for being on the show. And one of her motives was, at least from the way Andy jumped into this clearly, was Rebecca wanted to frame the conversation about Scientology. She was doing some, proselytizing. And the ladies weren't having that. And production didn't have it. Which is why we see after, right before the show aired, Rebecca Minkoff announced online on social media that she wouldn't be returning for season 2. She wasn't able to accomplish her goals. Her goals was to proselytize for Scientology. So anyway, Uba. Uba just feels 100% justified for acting up and acting out. If one thing is proved to be wrong, or proved to be an incorrect statement for her, she takes that as her go flag to act out, scream and yell, and carry on. It's too much. It's too much. Her victimhood is way over the top. Is it cultural? It might be. Because I don't know enough about her culture. I think she's Somalian. I may be wrong on that. But that level of acting out, there's got to be a time when you sit back and you try to analyze it and find out why that went wrong and what you could do to make it go better. Anyway, but she and Bryn do make some apologies. Don't know how authentic it was. Later, after, how the camera's okay, reunion over, they do their toast, then the cameras cut and follow them around for their comments on what just happened. They have this apology fest that is so inauthentic. I think they all know the show is on the bubble, or at least the cast is on the bubble, because a lot of people have been unhappy with it. So, there's a lot of work to be done on that show. A lot of work. Some potential, but a lot of work. And I would like to revote my best dress. Remember last week I said I thought that Raquel was the best dressed? Well, the more I saw the dress this week, I said, oh my God, no, it's not. It's not the best dress. Really, I'm going to have to then say Sai was the best dressed, although Bryn's gown, while very see-through and revealing, was beautiful as well. And Jenna also, last year she wore jeans, this year she wore a bathrobe and a turban. Um, and she pulled it off. Like I said, she knows how to pull those things off, and she did it good. Well, all right. What do we have here? Yeah, I think I just did them. I think I just did these two. And then I'm going to go on. You know what? I'm going to do the Salt Lake reunion. And then for the next one, I'm going to do the Salt Lake real estate show and the two Charlestons. Okay, Salt Lake reunion. Whitney Rose is completely desperate to make sure she still has a snowflake next year. Her, first of all, she was number 4 on the couch. This is really important. Who sits up to the right of Andy, who sits to the left of Andy, and where's your positioning on the couch? The further down you are, the more expendable you are. And Whitney Rose found herself in the 4th position, last on the couch. And that made her a little desperate. That high-pitched, squeaky voice got as high-pitched and squeaky as you could be for her screaming at Lisa Barlow. It was terrible. The really big thing on the 3rd episode was Britani, who was just added onto the other couch, the couch opposite from Whitney Rose, in the last position. And boy, she stands her ground on everything. She's got she's got great confidence in herself. She's confident that she's a star that somehow we've never heard of. And she's super talented. She's got everything going on in her life, and anything that she's hearing negative from the other ladies is a sour grapes that she should be able to fight back on. She's decided to die on the hill that she was not taping the ladies in the Sprinter van. Of course, production shows her up. She claims, oh, I was just switching between screens. And then production goes to the tape and shows that she was out and out holding it and taping them for, I think, 25 seconds, which, you know, if you want to sit here for 25 seconds, it's a long time. So, Bronwyn has buried her son. Oh, yeah. Bronwyn is just such a fibber. Such a fibber. She'll be back because she knows how to stir up the controversy and stir up conversations. But she's a fibber. She's a liar. And what do I have here? Purple. Oh God. Well, it turns out apparently Angie K and if this is possible, and Britani showed up on set wearing the same exact dress, which we found out last week was an Oscar de la Renta. So both of them have the same exact Oscar de la Renta dress, and Britani, to her credit, offers to wear something different. So she has like kind of this garish, she's got the mounds of hair. She used the hair product that Lisa Barlow told her to use, Caritas Thermatique, is that what it's called? But her necklaces and all her jewelry and everything else is geared towards wearing this purple gown, which Angie is wearing. This massive purple nails, plastic hair. I have written here, moves more like plastique than theratique. It's just completely, it's like this whole big waterfall of hair that moves as one. There's no separation in the strands. It's just one plastered down hairdo. So anyway, Brittany doubles down on going after Meredith, claiming that she knows somebody's throwing. She knows what it sounds like if somebody's throwing up. Meredith has decided to die on that hill. That she was not throwing up that night, and of course it was Brittany. Doubles down and says, Meredith, I know what it's like to have an eating disorder. I had an eating disorder, which throws Meredith through the roof. Meredith will not tolerate any criticism of herself whatsoever. I mentioned that Whitney really feels like she's going to get the job. Why do I think Brittany will be back next season? None of her castmates like her, and she doesn't care, which means it'll be more the same with her. So anyway, that was an end to a very successful year in Salt Lake. I thought the ladies were fantastic, and I'm looking forward to what they come up with next year. So anyway, the only one, quiet at the reunion was Heather Gay, but I don't think she's got anything to worry about. She'll be back next year. All right, that's all I have. Let me say, if you liked what you're hearing and seeing, please hit the subscribe button. Beep, 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 beep. Right over there, subscribe button, or hit the like button, beep, and that will help me out with my numbers. So anyway, thanks again. I look forward to seeing you next time here on the O'Rourke Report.